Hello, hello. I am Cassie Brown, and I am thrilled to welcome you to the Amplify My Impact podcast. After years of consulting and managing programs for some of the top entrepreneurs, CEOs, and marketers in the industry, I am on a mission to expand our contribution, to grow, scale, and create more so we can do and give more. This podcast celebrates entrepreneurs who are boldly stepping up to own their calling, expand their influence, and stretch outside their comfort zone, who've decided to stop playing it small, pick up the mantle of contribution, and serve at a higher level, to lead by example and light the way for others. If that's you, then get ready to amplify. There's a fire that burns inside your soul, and we're going to ignite it into a roaring blaze of unstoppable momentum. Hey guys, Cassie Brown here, and welcome back to Amplify My Impact. This podcast episode, I'm always excited, but I am absolutely thrilled to share my guest with you today. Joy Anderson is the founder of a preschool system where it's a preschool at home. Not only that, she's had an incredible vision and mission to bring the mothers home, placed on her heart for the Stronger Together Summit. And we're chatting today with her, sharing her story, her journey, and some huge, big, bold steps that she's taken in her life to not only amplify her impact, but the ripple effect that she's going to have on others through these systems and courses and just environments that she's creating to embolden and empower women and mothers to fully step into their greater purpose. And that is defined individually for each of us. There is no one right or wrong way. And I'm so excited to be part of this mission because it is a calling to women all over the world to come together and not put ourselves in these little boxes that separate us from corporate to work from home or stay at home. It does not matter. We are stronger together, and what we can accomplish together is just unlimited. So I'm really, really excited. Joy, please fill in the gaps of anything that I missed, and I can't wait to share your story.
Oh, awesome. Well, I'm super excited to be here. This is actually my very first podcast episode, interview. What? Someone wants to interview me? That's so cool. So I'm super glad it's you.
Yes. No. Oh, gosh. The first time we met, I know you may not remember it, but it was super brief at Unlock the Secrets, because that was like a time for you that was probably like the Twilight Zone, how fast everything went and how spot on the timing had to be. I just remember you sharing posts and sort of behind the scenes and like your notes of everything. So I know you were so laser focused on that. But that was such a huge accomplishment, and that in itself alone. But I love, and I can't wait to share your story because you're nowhere near done yet.
Well, let's hope so, because I think I'm still kind of young, so there must be a lot going on. Well, yeah, so let me kind of catch everybody up and who is Joy Anderson? So I'm actually going to go back real quick to 11 years ago, because truly I do believe that's when a very monumental moment happened for me. So about 11 years ago, I became a single mom overnight. And I had 3 young kids, and I was trying to figure out how do I create income for them? I was a stay-at-home mom for 8 years. I did Pampered Chef. I did some random stuff at home, trying to sell stuff consignment on eBay. And I only made 100, 200. One month I actually made $300. And I was like, holy cow, whoa, we can go get a couch or something. And that was all I was ever really able to make for those 8 years as a stay-at-home mom. But I always had that passion to create and do stuff. Well, when I became a single mom, though, it totally flipped the switch. It was okay, so either I have for a full-time income, because I can't do a gazillion of these little jobs. I was either go get a job, put your kids in daycare. And I was hey, that's not an option for me because I stayed home with them. They were little, we're going to be going through a divorce. That was not something I wanted them to be away from me. They needed their mom, or everybody tells you if you want to stay home with your kids, go start a daycare. That's what everybody tells you. And so I was hey, well, 12-hour long days, babies, diapers, yuck, I can't deal with that. So didn't want to do that. And then had this idea come to me hey, if you don't want to do daycare, then do everything that you don't the opposite. So if you don't love babies, don't take care of babies. If you don't love 12 hours, just teach for a couple hours. anyways, and I was like, okay, that's actually really, really cool. I started like jotting down all these ideas. I was like, okay, I'll teach 3 to 5-year-olds for a couple hours every day. And then they'll go home and like, they'll be potty trained, and like, I'll call it a preschool, and that's it. And so it was awesome. Like, I had that idea come to me. I started a preschool in my home, and we grew it from just like 24 students one year. Of course, they don't all come at once. It was like, 4 classes of 6 students, but from 24 students one year to like kept growing bigger every single year. We kept doubling. We got multiple locations, hired a bunch of teachers. We were able to teach like 1,000 students in our school. Yeah, it was so cool. We just kept growing like bigger and bigger, because we were like the anti-daycare. Like, we don't want anything to do with daycare. We're strictly private preschool, created kindergarten programs. And anyways, it was a ton of fun, right? So 10 years into that business, we sold it, which was like shocking to me. Like, I didn't even know you could sell like a business that you didn't even own the building to. So that was really fun. So we sold that business, but the whole time, after about a year being in my own preschool business, so I was only in it for a year, I was in my home, just teaching preschool, doing my little thing, I actually met Russell Brunson, and had this like idea, like, I want to help other women start preschools. Like, I can't keep this within me, because like nobody told me that I should have started a preschool back then. And that was the very best thing for me. And I know it's going to be the very best thing for other women. So he helped me to be able to like launch my business on the internet. Like, that was 9, 10, 11 years ago. And it's been crazy ever since. So we started helping women start preschools for the past 10 years. And we've been helping so many. So like, we've had like thousands of women actually start their own successful preschools. That's been the last 10 years we've done that. And what's been super fun is that this last like 6 weeks, all the preschools got shut down, as you know, like across the world and the country, because all these schools got shut down. So when the schools got shut down, we were able to help the women with all their local preschools transition them to online, got them back up and running. No other preschools are in operation except for our ladies' online preschools. So it's been super fun. And that's kind of like the preschool side of my journey.
I love it. I love it. From such an early beginning, you had a huge heart for moms and for mothers, and just providing. It's so funny to listen to you to share that, because I remember back when I first had our oldest, Hudson, and I was working for our family business, but my office, I went through that same struggle. Like, I don't want to be away from them for 8-10 hours a day. Mm-hmm. And so my office was a glorified nursery with a desk in it. Yeah. And at the time I actually had two newborns with me. I had Hudson and my nephew, Ace. So it was just, juggling that, but it taught me a lot. And I think that's the things that moms need to realize. We have incredible skill sets that just aren't taught in school and college. And like, we have creative thinking and the way to problem solve, like you would not believe, because of the situations that we find ourselves in and figuring out how to make it work. Mm-hmm. And I love that. And it planted the seed for something bigger. So talk to us about that, because that was a huge transition in your life as well, that we're in the middle of right now.
Yeah, totally. And so for that, let's step back probably about a year ago. So I've mentioned Russell Brunson, and of course he's my mentor through this whole thing. Is just like always helped me to be able to get my message out online, which is the one missing piece that I always had, right? Well, after we sold our preschool, I did a little stint as a high school English teacher for about a year, trying to figure out what I want to be when I grew up. And after that, so I sold my preschool, was a high school English teacher for about a year, and then came back into Russell's circle again, where he was like, hey, I've got some books I need some help with, I've got some projects, and I know that you obviously you do the English thing. So clearly you're like a good editor or something. You want to come on and help me with curriculum? And I know you've been doing all your stuff. And I was like, awesome, of course. And now I hadn't had a job in 20 years. Like, I was an entrepreneur, like I am, like core through and through, hadn't had an employer for 20 years. Right. But I was like, if Russell calls, we're going to go jump on that bandwagon for a bit. And I knew that I was going to be able to like get my skill level up to the point where I needed in order to get my message out quickly, because I like, the internet changes so quickly, and just to be able to like to know everything. And anyways, so I jumped with that. And so for the past year, I've been working with Russell and ClickFunnels and being able to help with curriculum and content and edit books and all that good stuff. And just have been through this last year, just serving my own audience, massively. And it's like been so awesome. But something happened like through this last, so like about a year and a half ago, I was just doing my thing. This is before Russell contacted me. I was just doing my thing, going about my day, doing homeschooling actually at the time with my kids. And like all of a sudden I just had this like phrase pop in my head, and it was bring the mothers home. And I was like, okay, that's cool. Like, all right, well, I'm doing that because I help women start preschools and that they're home, so I'm like, that's cool. I like that phrase, but I pondered on it all night, and I wrote a blog post that night and sent it out to the world, and I thought that was it. And I was like, that was cool. People started emailing me back. Oh, I totally, vibe with this. Like, this is exactly what I feel too. And I'm like, awesome. Like, I feel like that was a good one. Anyways, went on with my life. I got the job with Russell, and then have been doing that for a year. And throughout like this last few months, pretty much since like January, February, things have been changing. Like the world's been changing. I've been changing. It's been pretty crazy. And that phrase just keeps coming back to me over and over and over, bring the mothers home. And I keep, I'm like, okay, cool. So like, but I'm doing that. So like, what else does this mean? Right. And it kind of got impressed upon me that it wasn't just about preschool. It's actually about all moms everywhere. Right. And so I was working a full-time job. Right. And I wasn't home. And contrary to the previous 20 years of my whole life with the family and everything, I was home. But for the past year, I haven't been home. And that phrase just kept coming back. And it was like, it's not just about preschool. It's about bringing all the moms home, serving their families and their communities. I was like, okay, clearly this mission is like beyond me. So, and beyond like preschool. And I started as soon as the whole preschools started getting shut down. That's really when I realized like, hey, Joy, you have to step up right now because your people need you. All the other moms are coming home right now to like, because their children are home now. So the moms are coming home and they need like massive support. And so it was like, you've got to do more than what you currently can do. And what you're currently doing is like this much because you have this full-time job. So it was like, you have to quit. And that was like crazy to like even contemplate, like, yeah, okay, in the middle of this crazy thing, you want me to quit my full-time job, like, and just go serve my own mission. Of course I want to serve it, but it's like, leaving that safety net. Right. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So, and that's really where I had this like idea of, if I need to help these moms who are clearly going to be overwhelmed with homeschooling and trying to create income, their husband's job is maybe it's gone. Maybe he's not getting enough income. Maybe they're trying to figure out how to work from home. How do we keep the house clean? How do we do all these things that now are on our shoulders that were never on our shoulders before? Like, we got to support those mamas. So that's when I had this idea of the summit, and that's the Stronger Together Summit.
Yes. And I have been so blessed to have a front row seat to this coming together. I will never forget you messaged me on Facebook and you were like, do you have Voxer? And I was like, yes. And then I woke up and then you shared the beautiful story, and you were so sweet and so generous. And you're like, I'm sorry. This is the longest Voxer I've ever left. But it was amazing to see from the beginning the action that you took, because a lot of people have missions laid on their hearts. Yeah. A lot of people have ambitions to be able to pay it forward and give it back. But it's way, 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 way out to the future, almost untouchable, where it's like, I wish and I hope to be able to accomplish this one day. Yeah. Whereas it was a thought in your head and you just like stepped up. I don't know how it's going to happen. I don't know how it's going to do it, but I have the faith that if I just take this next step,
Yeah.
The next one will be revealed.
Mm-hmm.
So can you kind of talk through that process? Like, cause that is, I know in sharing the story, like there's facts in there, but there's also that tug of war going on.
Oh, very much. Okay. So first off, like I said, this is my first podcast interview. So summits are all about interviews, and like, holy cow, like I'm actually a huge introvert. And so this is like super actually comfortable, but like the fact that it's being recorded and all that other stuff, it's kind of like nerve wracking. And then I was supposed to be the person that was going to interview. So we'll go there for a second. But when I have this idea of like, hey, we need to get like as many of the most amazing women as possible, like gathered together to share their knowledge. Cause I can help like people start preschools. Like I can do that, but like, I can't touch like how to do like health and wellness and, belief and mindset and like growing your business, scaling it like massively to the millions. Like I can't touch that stuff. Right. I got my one thing I can help, but I need other people to support me. And I started just having these names come to me of like these leaders in the industry that we both are well known. And thankfully they're also my friends, like that I've been able to gain amazing relationships with over the past year. And I was like, yes, she totally needs to share that message. She needs to share that message. They need that. Oh my gosh, if they had that, right? And I just started like cultivating these names of like, yes, they need to be part of this. And like, but like so scared to also like venture out and ask, right? So it was really crazy how this happens. But even before I had the impression that you need to do a summit or that you need to quit your job or that you need to like any of this, Stacy Martino, my good friend, she actually lives here in Boise with us and or she lives in Boise. And she had reached out to me personally, had asked me to go to lunch, which we'd never gone to lunch before, but we chat all the time. And she asked me to go to lunch on a Friday. And it was so a week and a half forward was going to be our lunch. And this was like, honestly, before like COVID-19 was like here. It was like, it was these whisperings and like stuff was getting canceled and like, but President Trump hadn't had his like nightly announcement yet, right? That one announcement where he's like, oh, this is actually real, right? And anyway, she'd reached out to me and offered, hey, like, let's go out to lunch. I was like, awesome. So I put it on my calendar. I think it was like Friday. And then as these things start happening, like President Trump's announcement, and then literally it was the next morning I woke up because I was like, okay, schools everywhere are shutting down, right? And that was when it got real. It was like the children are home, the moms are home, like we have to help. And and that's when everything started coming in, all these ideas. And I literally was having lunch with Stacy the next day. And I was like, I knew Stacy was one of my people because like, how do you even like not kill each other when you're all working under the same roof?
Right.
She was one of my people. Like I knew she was pivotal. And I was like, if I could ask Stacy, like she'd be my one that I felt most comfortable to ask, not to mention I'm going out with her at lunch tomorrow. So I felt like, okay, if I can ask her and if she can, buy into this, then I'll feel more comfortable to take that next step, right? Because I had like no clue. I'd never done a summit before, never done any of this stuff. And summits honestly like scared the heck out of me. But I actually voxed her that she was my very first vox. And the Voxer, I actually like typed it out. I was like, hey, so like I have an idea for like lunch tomorrow. I really want to share it with you, but like, I know you want to talk to me about stuff. I don't want to like, and then I was like, so do you want to hear it?
I love it.
I couldn't leave it there. I was like, okay, well that was stupid. I'm like, and then I was like, I just pushed the record button, like probably 30 seconds later. I was like, hey, Stacey, I'm just going to tell you because like, I can't like do this. Anyways, I just shared my story that I shared with you also in that Voxer. And that's kind of a longer story. So we won't get into that too much on the podcast. But anyways, I shared my story, my mission, like why I felt so passionate about this. And I asked her if she would, be willing to help. And like immediately the Vox came back like, oh my gosh, yes. Like, we're going to talk about this at lunch tomorrow. Anything you need, like, I will help you. And I was like, okay, this is the first step, right? She made a point to me like that next day when we were talking. She's like, Joy, like, you don't have to see the staircase. I think it's like a Dr. King quote, right? Like, you don't have to see the staircase. You just need to see the first step, right? You don't need to know all the thousands because it probably scared the heck out of you.
Totally. Yes.
Yeah. So she was my very first Vox. And then the next one was actually, trying to think who my next one was. It was going through all my list of everybody who I talked to. Oh, Natasha. It was Natasha. Because like, I was like, her challenge, her unstoppable influence, like I knew that they needed this like passion inside of them to like be awoken, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, they need that power to get through this. And I Voxed Natasha, but that one was like unreal. That was like, I'm like so scared, Natasha, to like talk to you. So if you guys ever want to think like everything goes super smooth, it never does.
I love it, but that's the beautiful thing. You just openly shared your heart and your mission. And I think that is the biggest thing that rallied everybody together is like, she's like so crazy passionate about this, like in every word.
Yeah. So Natasha, it was funny because like I boxed her and it was like the most shaky because like I'd seen Natasha and I didn't have like a super deep relationship with her. We knew each other and stuff, but I didn't have like super deep relationship with her. And so like, I was like super shaky and like, and so like, you know, anyways, it was hilarious. I don't want to listen back to it, but so then what happened is she did not reply. And I saw that she'd read it because you can see that they read it. I'm like, okay, she just must have thought it was stupid. Like, dang it. Like that just, I can't like, I don't have the like recall button or anything. So anyways, but then I actually started like, okay, I'm going to do my research and I think I reached out to you that night. And I was like, okay, I need your help because you've done summits before. And like, I love your passion and you're always around people. Like, that's what I've always known. I see your face all the time, but you're always with people, you know? And I'm like, if anyone can help me to be better around people, it's Cassie.
Yeah, I do. I love people. My husband tells me to quit making friends.
I love that. And then what happened was like the next morning, I woke up to a box from Natasha and she's like, oh my gosh, yes, like, of course. Like, are you kidding me? Like, I'm all in. And so I think she was super like, whatever happened, she, you know, didn't have time to respond or whatever, but she was like flipping out. She was all in. And then, so I was like, okay, cool. But I woke up that morning and I like typed out this gigantic post, 2,500 words on Facebook, because I was just sharing my story, but I was like done with the whole Voxer thing. So I was so shaky, right? And I was like, just done with that. I'm not going to do that one by one. Cause I hate rejection and I didn't want to like get rejected or feel like be waiting for a day to get rejected. And so I wrote this huge 2,500 word Facebook post, just sharing my story, my mission, my passion, and asking these women to help. Right. And then I put it out there in the world and then boom, like everybody just started like replying, I'm in, oh my gosh, yes. Like, and I was like, okay, so we've got the steps. They're starting to progress. If these women are in, I can figure it out. And the rest is history.
I love it. I love it. I love just the beautiful, one more example of just, you know, those tiny baby steps forward, you know, whether it's those small steps or those huge leaps of faith. And thank you for sharing and being vulnerable where you're like, I just did not want more. I didn't want the possibility of rejection because that is, and it's so funny, the dialogue that goes on in our head, right? Where it's like, wait, they read it. Why aren't they responding? And then we'll create a whole narrative that's not even close to reality, but it causes us stress and anxiety and worry. So yeah, that's beautiful. So talk to us about your family. How they are doing with everything and because you shared that your heart and your mission with them as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So it was interesting because when I had that conversation with my husband, like, hey, I have to quit. Like it came out of nowhere, but it was like so strong. Like I knew it to my core, like I have to quit. And that one was one we had to like navigate and figure out, right? But it was one that I kept coming back to, like, this is my new track in life. This is my new path. Like, I just got to get on it and go full force, and things will work out, right? I've got 5 kids and they're awesome. I've got my oldest up in college. My youngest is 7, and it's been really, really great being able to, like, now that I'm home, we've been home for the past few weeks, but now that I'm setting my own schedule, right, I'm definitely able to go be out there with them, and just honestly try to like start getting back to what the normal was before. And it is a transition, like, for people who have like been involved in one kind of schedule and things like that for like so long. It is like this like uncomfortable, like, because you're used to it, right? So it's the new normal. But then you have to like, okay, but we didn't like that. So like, let's create our own normal. Yeah.
Oh yeah. We were there too. Last year was a whirlwind for us and our family. And it was an adjustment. It was an adjustment first, like after Adam's diagnosis, and I quit photography for a little while. And I was just a mom for 5 years and, consulting here and there remotely. But when I went back and started taking on clients, it was a shock to the whole family. They're like, wait. Why aren't you fixing our lunches anymore, Mom? Like, what? Where's my juice? Because I have a servant's heart. And I realized what I had done. I had served my family, but I had also kind of like overserved because they were revolting when they didn't have 100% of Mom's attention anymore.
Totally.
And so then we kind of navigated to a new normal. And then like, I think our years last year were very similar, where it was like, event after event, calls, work, like, where is it? I felt like the scene in Harry Potter where Hermione puts her hand down in her purse and like she's bringing up all of these things. Like I felt like I was that with time. Like I don't know how I'm accomplishing all of this because I have the same 24 hours that everybody else has. But it was just early mornings and late nights. And so now we're transitioning, and I love it. So I love that you shared that part about family, because like that's just to be able to go outside with the kids and sit by the pool, or, it's that freedom. That's incredible. And that's the door that you're opening with the summit. So talk to us a little bit about the summit and then beyond, like, cause this is just another step forward to something bigger.
Mm-hmm. So this, so the phrase "bring the mothers home," like that kept coming to me, like I said, for the past year and a half, and I just want to go away. And I'd put out the blog post or the email and I'd be like, cool. And then it's like, no, that's not it. Like that's not just what I want you to do. It's not just go send out that, email or something. It was more. And it truly became more of this, like, it's not just about preschool. It's about, all moms serving their families and communities, bringing them home. And when I was like really struggling, trying to figure out like, what in the world is this thing? Like, it kind of hit me like, that's your podcast. I was like, what? Like, bring the mothers home. I'm doing a podcast on what? Like, on what? Like, bring the mothers home. Like, are we talking preschool? Are we talking like, you're working from a job and now how do you leave your job? Like, is it about just supporting moms who are home, like, in regardless of what they're doing? Like, what? I don't know. That one I have not figured out yet. And that's okay. Like, I know that that's a future plan for me. And that's really cool. It's exciting. Like, cause I personally, I'm one of the people who like needs a mission, like, so I need that thing to like propel me forward. Otherwise I feel like I'm like, what am I doing with my life? Right? Like, why are we here? So that one I'm excited about. But yeah, the summit, like, that is so exciting, because when I was obviously trying to help other women with their questions and answers, right? So like, I was interviewing all my ladies, I was interviewing you to try to figure out like, how can we support those women? I was like always thinking about the women that are going to be watching the summit. How can we support those women? How do we answer their questions? But like, something changed in me where I was like, whoa, hold up. Like, I'm changing. Like, this is crazy. Like, why is this happening? I was not expecting this. I was trying to help them. And I went through this process of like changing, where I was woken up to the fact that like, I'm not liking my current like reality of what I created. And so the whole concept kept coming over and over and over from like so many speakers, which was, creating a life by design, right? It's like living a life by design. I mean, I know Stacy talks about this. I know so many other people talk about it, but it's literally, you're going to live your life. Are you the one in control of it, or are you living someone else's plan for you? And I was like, okay, hold up. Like, yep, we got detoured for the past year, but in such a good way, because like
right.
so many things have been blessed, and I've been able to help, and it's been amazing. But it's time to go down a different path now and put me back in the driver's seat. And so for the summit, it was really cool because I was like, the women who go through the summit, they're going to feel these inklings and they're going to feel these stirrings as well. But like, we have to support them. It's only 4 days. Like, and nobody can like immerse themselves in 20 hours in 4 days. Like, that's insane. And so that's why we put together that Girl, You Got This challenge, which was like super fun. So they can take like a 30-day period to go through the summit and really experience it and come out on the other side changed. So that was really fun too.
I love it. So, and I'll apologize. They're doing the yard work. I don't know if you can hear that next door. I was doing a live training one time, and we were at a Disney resort, and someone came by with a lawnmower, a weed eater, and a helicopter, and then an ambulance came by, and I am like, what did everybody just get the memo that I was live?
Totally.
But okay, I love that vision. I love your heart. And as we wrap everything up here, I want to express how grateful I am to not only be part of this mission, but to walk beside you and to serve these women. Because I think, as you were just sharing that, I wrote down, awaken, living that life by design. And like what we said in the beginning, it's not, is it getting loud? It's not, this is quarantine life. The puppy was barking earlier. So like, I don't know. We'll see what Parker tells me to do with, sorry, Parker. So just living that life by design, it's so individual. Mm-hmm. I love that you pointed out, don't just tie yourself to somebody else's vision for you or fit into a box or a mold that they have made, whether it's, society or work or corporate America, or even us as women and moms in our role of what like a traditional family looks like. I love that you are opening up this conversation, and it's not like it's a fresh and new aha, like no one's ever talked about this before. Right. But the more that we talk about it, the more that there is that movement, that heartbeat inside that awakens, where it's like, I do have more of a choice. I do have hopes and dreams and desires. And maybe right now I am sort of kind of just going through the motions. And so what you are unlocking in so many people is so beautiful, with the ripple effect of impact that could have. Now it's going to start with them. When they look in the mirror, who they see at their core as a woman, who they are. And then it expands as a wife, as a mother, as a sister, as a daughter, as a leader, as a, whatever they are, they're free to be and own it. So I love that about you and your mission.
Oh, thank you. It's been so fun. It's been a journey, and like, there's so many more years and things to come too, which is exciting.
Well, awesome. I definitely want to give you the last couple of minutes, because I definitely want to share, where can they go to register for the summit, because it's coming up. Let me see. Wait a second. I'm not sure where this is going to fall. We'll see if we can get it to publish before the summit and bump it up and everything, so that way people have time to listen and go register. So let's go ahead and prepare, because even so, they're going to be able to get the replays and access, right?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So take it away, Joy. Tell us what to do.
Awesome. So obviously I want to help all moms, and even if you're not a mom, but you are passionate about creating income at home and honestly just creating a better life for yourself. Like, this is for you. So the Stronger Together Summit, it's going to help all moms nourish their mind, body, soul, strengthen their relationships, create income from home, and grow their businesses online. So go check it out. It's strongertogethersummit.com. Can't get more easy than that. You can go register for free there. It's a free 4-day event. It's coming up soon. So super excited to have you guys there.
All right. Awesome. Joy, thank you so much for sharing your story, for spending time with us, and for being the catalyst for others to amplify their impact. We appreciate you and all the work that you're doing. Keep it up. Beautiful. All right, guys, we'll catch you next time. Thanks so much for spending time with me today. I hope you've received value, encouragement, and exactly what you need to help keep you in momentum to grow and impact the world around you. Big or small, we all make a difference. Thanks also for subscribing, downloading, and leaving a review. This helps us reach others who need this message in their life. If you know anyone who would benefit from this podcast, please share so you and I can help more people boldly step into purpose. It is my heart's mission to help and encourage others. My internal belief that a rising tide lifts all ships. So much of what we talk about on the podcast is leading with value and building relationships through service. So we've created a collection of resources for you to continue growing, whether you are just getting started or ready to scale your business. Visit amplifymyimpact.com for show notes, downloads, programs, and more information about how to directly work with our team to amplify your impact and change the world.